What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Eat Sleep Drive. It's time to give you guys an update of my LS. I apologize ahead of time. I missed last week's video. I've been trying very hard to get a video per week, but unfortunately, alas, I lapsed last week. Anyways, where are we at with the LS in my S14? So what you're looking at here is the progress I've made. And the reason that this is taking a little bit longer than I expected is that I've run into a couple problems. So first and foremost, I bought this car and the swap kit from a gentleman, actually a friend of mine, who had everything already ordered. Now, when I went to put this drive shaft in, under here, you can see it's not connected. That is because it is the wrong length. So what I can show you here is a new diff that I acquired. Pay attention to up here. There's actually two different diffs that the 240SX has, and they're different lengths by about half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. See up here on this diff, there's this is actually an ABS sensor. So the diff, this is a diff that was in the car, and it is a ABS diff, so it is a little longer. Therefore, the drive shaft would not fit. So that set me back a little bit because I had to acquire this diff, which you can clearly see. I'm just changing the fluids on, and I changed these seals. But that's part of the problem, right? These things tend to snowball. So I get the diff out and I'm like, well, the diff is out. I should do the diff bushings. And doing the diff bushings that connect to the subframe are kind of, it's not a difficult job, but it is time consuming because it's kind of hard to do in the car. So as you can see here, these are the easy ones. These diff bushings I just took out, burned, and burned the stock ones, and then put those in. And then the more difficult bushings are, sorry, I'm going back and forth here, guys, are up there, and you can see them. Those are the poly bushings. Now those are a pain in the ass because there's basically, you got to punch out the bushing, and then you're left with a ring that's pressed in there that you essentially have to cut out with a, just like a metal saw, and then put those in. Anyways, I'm getting way ahead of myself here. Things are snowballing, right? So that's taken me longer than I expected. That's certainly for sure. The other problem I had was this. I had to acquire a new shifter because the stock shifter, you could see right here, this is where the shifter would come up naturally, and you can imagine going into first, third, fifth, it hits the center console. So I got a new shifter, and I'll be making a video about that because I'm really happy with it. The problem is, to get it in, I had to drop the trans mount bracket. Now the trans mount bracket is not a big deal, but I dropped it, and then I noticed one of the bolts is stripped on that trans mount. Where the bolts go through the trans mount to the chassis. So had to oil a helicoil, I'm not sure how you say that, and I'm still waiting for that to arrive from Amazon. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. I've never had that happen before where I couldn't repair the threads and I'm gonna have to helicoil it. So hopefully that goes okay. Now, there's also one thing I didn't notice or know about when I first started this swap. There is this thing called a steam port, which is right here on an LS1. And a steam port is basically like, if the engine gets too hot, basically you can get steam or whatever to come out there, and it's supposed to empty into your radiator, or that's how it is on the stock car. Now, fortunately, super fortunately, this Koyo that I got has a port for it. But it's supposed to be a 1/8 NPT, but it seems to be a little too small to fit this 1/8 NPT barb fitting. So I'm also waiting on a tap to try and tap that out and make it a little bigger, so hopefully it'll fit that barb fitting right there. I will show you guys some progress though that I'm having some fun with. So making my own intake here. You can certainly buy an intake for these cars, but they're like $300 for the most simple thing ever. So simple 90-degree elbow to a 8-inch, roughly 3.5-inch aluminum pipe to the MAF, and then a K&N filter. So real simple, but that's coming together nicely. You guys can see the progress I've made with wiring, which has been really big. This has been going pretty well so far, but you can see pretty much everything is plugged in, and so that is good. I mean, look at the clearance for some of this stuff though. So this is like a factory for the heater hose. There's just super close clearance to the valve cover. I mean, everything is super tight in here, but I am slowly but surely making progress, guys. So stay with me here, and I'm definitely gonna put out a video next week with more progress that I've done on the car, and I'm gonna make the commitment within the next week, so maybe it'll be close to when this video airs. I'm going to attempt to start this car. I'm not gonna guarantee it's gonna start, but I'm gonna attempt to start it, because I still have to deal with deleting the VATs, which is a security system on the car. So there's a lot of stuff on these swaps that they don't talk about, and they're not necessarily super difficult, but it's very time consuming, and it's just things you can't account for. But stay tuned, guys. I'm definitely going to be coming at you with another video next week. Hopefully that video includes me starting this engine and hearing it come to life. But I really appreciate you guys watching as always. Stay tuned next week, and hopefully we can start this thing. See ya.